a daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play option. Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Doing good.
Good.
I'm in
Cold,
Tennessee.
tired,
I
Dan's.
didn't get the memo, Matt. Did you get the memo on how to dress today in this weather? And
Say Dan's looking nice and warm. Troy's looking like he's coming out of his igloo.
This
Up here.
frozen tundra of Knoxville, Tennessee, where it's 59 degrees outside right now.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I wanted to show solidarity with the Bears, so I decided to dress like a Bears tailgater.
Yeah.
Real quick, I mean, I tell my wife just laughs at me now. My poor grandpa, as he got older, before he passed, he got really cold. He would wear jackets this is an old person move, right? It'd be 95 degrees outside. He'd have a jacket on.
Yeah.
Right. I am in my early 40s, and we are heading that direction. I mean, it is a sad move how fast I've got. And I told my wife, I've told her this for years, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this is where I'm heading, guys.
Embrace it. It's okay. Let's see.
This is where I'm heading.
Oh,
So I love this.
This is great.
Here's the question. It is machine washable.
Mm.
Can we get these logoed?
Oh,
man.
man.
By then you're probably talking like a $300 shirt.
Yeah. We can get 2 of these logoed. That's
Too
right.
funny.
We can afford to get 2 or 3 of these logoed for everybody. And then that's it.
Oh my God. This is great.
It's I feel like, I don't know. I mean, you just have to embrace it. Embrace who you are. That's who I am. Dan, the Bears look like they're back. I mean, they lost, but they barely lost.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for us to get hopeful. Even a little bit. It's still early enough that you have hope. So the Chicago newspapers will grab this. And, the only interesting thing to me is, like we were talking before the show, you have a quarterback in a kind of a hard-nosed, blue-collar town who's a little bit kind of a Hollywood type guy, right? And the team that beat them yesterday had someone younger than the Hollywood guy who was #1 draft pick. The guy who beat them from Minnesota, which is a kind of a hard-nosed, playing 40 below weather. He's a Chicago guy, right? Cade, what's his name? Cade something or another.
Caleb.
No, the kid on Minnesota.
Oh, JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy. So, yeah, it's this. I tell you, if you're going to come into Chicago and you're going to, kind of have the Hollywood thing, you better light it up. I mean, Michael Jordan, you look at the Chicagoans loved him because he was hard-nosed. He'd play with the flu. He'd play with and he didn't sit. He didn't play 14 minutes a game. There's nothing not to like about him from a playing perspective.
So here's the thing that's interesting to me. I mean, growing up in Knoxville, there's only one team, and that's the Tennessee Volunteers.
You said it, yeah.
And, I grew up when the Lady Vols were just crushing everybody, but it was the Lady Vols.
The Lady Vols, yeah.
That was, for better or for worse, people just weren't really interested in it.
Yeah.
So there was a contingent of people who were really interested in it, I should say. But
yeah.
I didn't grow up in a pro town, and so let me ask you guys this. Dan, first question to you. When the Bulls are winning all those championships, one of the best players of all time, in Scottie Pippen, as well as Michael Jordan,
Ooh, yes.
and Dennis Rodman. Was it still a Bears town? Like if you had to poll all of Chicago by sports interest, was it Bulls or was it Bears?
That's a great question. I mean, I would say
Cubbies.
Yeah, I would say, the Bears
or White
fans.
Sox.
Here's the thing. I think the Bears, people willing to sit outside for 3.5 hours in 20 below weather, that tells you something about their character or their craziness or whatever. I think with the Jordan thing, they said, hey, it's Chicago, we'll embrace it. But deep down in the fibers of your soul, it was, we'll take this until the Bears get good again. So I don't think if you're a football fan or a Bear, it's a different breed. It's different to go and watch a basketball game inside, nice heat in the building. It's a different, so they embrace it, but it's still no way. I don't, even the Bears, when they're losing all, those fans, they'll go to a Bulls game, but more people, I'll tell you, because the Bulls were so bad, Troy and Matt. I remember they were coming downtown trying to sell tickets. The Bears, and so I knew many people who basically they said their best investment ever was buying Bulls tickets, and it funded their kids' college education because they would
love that.
And they would just flip them.
They would just flip them. And they were.
We had that, the Pacers.
Yeah, Pacers.
Anybody doesn't know, the Pacers made it to the NBA Finals this year. And, a couple years ago, even when the Pacers were good, you could go get nosebleeds for $10, game day, even when they were good. And a small market. And
I'm going to go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, during the finals, I'm not sure I heard some of the same stories where people who had owned season tickets for years paid for just sold some of their finals tickets and paid for the next 10 years of season tickets.
Oh my goodness.
No,
wow.
So I'm going to get to Indianapolis here in a second because I have a question about that. But one more question. I guess another way to put it, Dan, is if you got all these teams, and let's assume, because the Cubbies, they're so long, so I feel like people would say this, but let's assume they just won. Like right now, everyone's kind of had a championship in the last 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay. If you took the whole city and you said you only get one more championship for all time in one of these teams, what do you think Chicago would say?
It wouldn't be the Bulls.
Okay.
It would be Cubs or Bears.
Yeah.
And boy, part of me says just, when you look at what happened not too long ago with the Cubbies.
Oh yeah.
I might go Cubbies. Bear fans are more, they stick out.
Yeah.
But I think there's more the Cubbies. Okay. I don't know. What would you?
I think that's right.
I might go Cubbies.
I just think the reach of the Cubbies is bigger than the Bears. I don't think there's a lot of people outside of Chicago that are Bears fans. I think there's a lot of people
because
outside.
of WGN Chicago.
Exactly. We grew up with Cubbies games.
Oh, so you watched in WGN Chicago?
Yeah, we had WGN, and so we'd watch Cubbies. We'd watch Bulls games. We would watch. In Knoxville, it's weird. You get a lot of Cincinnati Reds fans or Braves fans.
Yeah, there's
a lot of people. Yeah. Now here's the final question, real quick, about this for sports ball talk for the morning.
Yeah.
Matt, you grew up in Indianapolis. I consider Indianapolis, from what I understand, to be a working man's town.
I did not, but continue.
Okay. You represent in this conversation in Indianapolis. So you have, when I think of the three kind of industrial football cities, well, actually, I'm about
Detroit.
That's a good word.
I said Detroit, Chicago, and Green Bay. Now, Pittsburgh fans are going to be pissed at me for including Pittsburgh would be
big time.
You could also argue Cincinnati. Cincinnati's very industrial.
Well, let's just keep it to these three, the northern kind of.
So, the cold
I look at Chicago, the cold ones. That's right. I look at Chicago. Those guys are crazy. They're known to be crazy. SNL has had many skits through the years addressing their craziness.
Yeah.
the Green Bay is insane.
Yeah, even
Yes.
Green Bay almost takes it to a different level.
yes.
Yep.
But then Detroit, here's the thing that gets me about Detroit. Yes, Detroit is the Motor City. It's industrial. They play in a dome.
Yeah.
And I wonder about that with Indy too. Like, I
Well,
don't
the
know
Indy
how,
Dome, I'm not a huge Colts fan, not a huge football fan. The Dome can come and go. It's a
Oh,
garage
really?
door. Yeah, they choose to open or close it. So it's the best of both
Oh.
worlds.
okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if that helps, but
Well,
it's
I
both.
just think of Chicago, really Chicago and anything around that lake.
Yeah.
Oh, with the
Football
wind.
fans, yeah. It
Well, you
just
said,
is
and
a,
nothing, Troy, just one other thing. I still remember the 85 Bears. That's how far back we have to go here. But Steve McMichael, who's recently, relatively passed away, but you got the wind blowing, it's below zero, and those linemen, short sleeve jerseys. It's basically saying, this is who we are. We're not going to, between when the defense rests and the offense is in, we're not going in the tent with the heat warmers. We're here with our short sleeve shirts on. And it was just like making a statement, Now they probably went home and suffered after the game, but that's what you epitomize. The players were like, they embraced that kind of image. It's kind of crazy, but they
steroids is a heck of a drug. Now listen, okay.
We don't want to forget the main topic that Matt brought up. We don't want to forget that one sports thing we were going to bring up today.
Well, this is a great transition because it has to do with people who
Yeah.
are tired of us talking about sports. We're going to talk about sports some more,
Yeah.
but this actually connects to geopolitics, I think.
Yeah.
And
the market, really.
The market, yes. Similar to the discussion the other day on platinum, how platinum and U.S. bonds are connected.
I like
if anybody
that one.
watched that on Friday.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, Troy, would you say an unofficial ambassador for the, did you guys see this? Did you see Trump talking about the meeting between Xi Jinping and Putin? And I think Modi was in it too, right? Did you guys see this the other day? Chat, did anybody see this? Somebody confirm me that I'm not hallucinating, but I'm pretty sure I remember or I dreamed Trump talking about a new, it was one of his tweets or truths or whatever. So he has 3,000 a day. So I don't keep up with them, but unless they move the market 300 points. But he was talking about how Putin and Xi were like meeting, and I think Modi was in this picture, and he was like commenting on the whole power dynamic. Did anybody see that? Nobody saw that. I may be crazy, but I'm pretty sure.
I didn't read it, but I did see
But
that.
Troy, what does this mean for the U.S. and China? How does this relate to what we're about to talk about?
Listen, I love my country. I don't know how much political things can be created because there's so much animosity. You need an ambassador. You need someone who transcends politics.
Here we go.
To bridge, and that is what the greatest basketball player of all time, LeBron James, is trying to do. I love Newsweek. This is, you talk about gotcha media, drive-by media. Look at this thing. I mean, haters of LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron James Penn's op-ed for Chinese Communist Party newspaper.
That's
It's just a It's just a newspaper. You don't have to say communist.
Yeah.
You don't have to say any of those things. It's just a newspaper in China. And what is he saying? He's saying basketball is the bridge that connects people across the world.
He's saying basketball is back because there was a lot of drama. Troy, I think I actually found would you be okay if I showed I think I found a picture of LeBron and his ambassador guys.
Yeah, please.
Let me see if I can add this. I hope it doesn't break our stream. So just give me a second. Give me a second to add this. But
Matt, if this is hateful, it's going to hurt my feelings.
No, I don't think it's hateful. I think it's his official ambassador picture. Is that it? Can you guys see that on the screen right there?
Oh my goodness.
Is that what we're talking about right now?
Oh my goodness.
Could we have him on the show? Do you guys think?
Wow.
Wow. I don't know. What do you think, Troy?
That's impressive.
Hey, listen, I can tell. I've gotten pretty good. That's not AI didn't create that. I'll tell you exactly who created that. A guy
on Reddit 5 years ago
who loves getting to the semifinals with the Pacers.
I didn't create that. Listen, that thing's been floated. That thing has been floating around for many years. Shout out to the anonymous Redditor who probably created that in like 2021. I have no idea.
Wow.
But I didn't have it saved. I just Googled it. I knew it was out there.
Too much.
So
sometimes it just gets so hard to just defend truth, to do the right thing.
I think that's the official picture. I was told. Many people are saying, thank you for your attention to this matter. So
listen, it's time to talk about markets.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about markets. So here's the thing. We showed yesterday a calendarized iron fly or a double diagonal, depending on how you call it. I called it a calendarized iron fly. I said back in the day I used to call it a Trojan swap. It's as if I was tricking the market. The KIF.
Now KIF.
And I put it out there to the backtesting community, optionomega.com. Check out our Discord. People who just are backtesting options strategies, trying to find good strategies to trade, removing the emotion from it. That's what backtesting is about. And shout out a newcomer, I believe. I could be wrong. Louis Schiff came through. Louis Schiff's calendarized iron fly.
Hey, look at that.
And Louis Schiff came out of the barn gate swinging.
Yes,
because he put some stuff. He put some juice on this bad boy. This is a Greg Maddox right here. Yeah, this is the changeup. So Matt, tell us what the heck this is.
Okay, well, I think the one we looked at was a 0-1. So this is a 0-2. It's only 3 days a week.
A 1-2, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, a 1-2. We'll have to come back and talk about Fridays because I'm thinking for Friday it might actually be a little bit different trade. Friday expiring Monday, but here's what jumps out at me. So it's not a 0-day trade, but you're getting in and out of it the same day. So we're entering in the morning and then just doing it, getting out the same day.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's exiting at 3 o'clock. And there's no stop loss, but there are rails on it. So I would say your first rail is actually the time that the 3 o'clock exit. So your first rail is your time, and he does have a movement rail, which will just be at the top of the minute. So it's not a 0 DTE top of the minute. So like you can still have a lot of move on one DTE for sure. But he's not doing it on the expiration day. So it's an interesting way. It does have a profit target, and he's splitting it into leg groups as well. So you're trading essentially two spreads, two diagonals, really. This is fascinating. It's got
an at the money diagonal.
Yeah, it's got some Punisher. I like that. I might bump up the exit slippage a little bit, maybe the entry slippage 10 cents, maybe. And I'm probably bump up the exit slippage. I really like the concept here, though. That's interesting. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd say what I like the most. I like his exits, because it's a diagonal, and he just, again, I like the X's more than I like a lot of, because here's the thing. Look where his longs are. So his longs are 60 points out, and it's just there. Hey, if things get out of line, right? If things get out of line during the day, and by buying another day out, he gets a little more extrinsic value. So if something did happen, Vol will help it better than because he's on the 2-day, right? Versus the 1-day. But I like the fact that, especially in a low vol environment, he's got a tight leash on the short options because he's basically selling an at the money call and put, which can go against you pretty quick. On a 0-day, like 15, 20 points, either way, it could nail you pretty good that quick because it's not an iron condor mentality. You're selling a straddle for all such purposes. So the fact that he's got the call tested, correct me if I'm wrong, if SPX goes up 20 points, he's exiting the call side. If SPX goes down 20, he's exiting the put side, right?
Yeah, 25 on the puts, 20 on the calls. Troy, can you scroll down just a little bit? Let's look at a couple
25 on the
recent
put,
ones.
which is tight. I mean, but for a low vol, yeah.
Super interesting. Like I'm looking at, again, I think we need to come back to Fridays because it's actually on Fridays, you're actually trading for the following days, you're really trading a Condor because of the exact DT. So maybe we could segment out Fridays, but it's super interesting. Like, okay. Do you want to show this, Troy?
Wow.
Talk, Troy.
Oh, sorry. No, my fault. Okay. So
I love that. I love when he does that.
No, go on, Matt. I think you're killing it.
I'm just looking at a couple of the days. So like if we look at the most recent, look at the most recent one on the September 2nd, again, I'm going to exclude the Friday expires because Friday because the 1-2 expirations don't exist on Friday and he has exact DT turned off, which is fine. It's actually condorizing. Is that a word? Monday is a condor, or the Friday trade is a Monday trade. That's a condor. Right. On Tuesday, I think that would be kind of a typical thing. So let's on September 2nd, you opened it and the call got tested right away and you lost about $6, $7. When I say right away, within 20 minutes, the put survived all day and it made about $6. Look at the Tuesday before that. That's kind of your probably a little bit better scenario because you're really, I mean, you want no movement and a vol crush, right? That's what you're looking for. On Tuesday, and it's technically you want a different movement in your 1 DT vol than your 2 DT vol, but that's really getting into the weeds. And a lot of times you're not going to see a huge difference. Dan, would you say it's very common to see a big difference in the move between the 1-day vol versus the 2-day vol?
Boy, they're kind of close, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, I think it does happen sometimes.
I mean, you're going to get, what happens with that a lot of times is you're going to get slight variations because you're going to get CPI.
That's it. Yeah.
You're going to have certain days where PPI, certain days where it's a little, listen, I'm just going to show you something real quick.
Yeah, just show us. This is a modeling tool.
So, right, you want it to basically, this bar right here is presuming the price, right? And what do you want? If you notice this basically looks like a single calendar. That's the thing that's interesting about it is it's really just because those shorts are at the money, you're just getting more juice. You're basically doubling up. It's a single calendar, right? It's a neutralized calendar. And so what you want is you don't want it to do anything. But here's what's interesting about it. You say, let's say, go back to the beginning. These type of trades benefit from vol. So this is the average of the vol if it goes up together, right? So you're going to just get movement, right? Yeah. But here's the thing that's interesting about it. Because each of these IVs, you have two different vols, expiration vols. What you actually want to happen is you want this to go down, and you want the 2-day to stay that's really what you want to have happen. Yeah. Right. And so that's the dream for all calendars is that the front gets crushed and the back, goes up or stays bid.
Well, especially if you at the end of the day, because it's, you think about it, as you get in the afternoon, your extrinsic value on your 1 day, on your 1 day, because you're getting out, is going to start coming down. But that 2-day, especially if we start heading south, right, could be a big deal. I was just commenting. There's something I like about the tool here, how you can do the implied volatilities differently.
Can you show Theta, Troy?
Yeah. So basically what you're going to be doing, like you want it to kind of sit still, right? The theta is just kind of collecting in that middle zone there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, by that point, you've got a lot of theta happening with those double shorts.
Yeah.
And eventually theta is going to go to nothing. But here's what's interesting about that is, let's say the vol goes down, your theta actually is getting crushed along with that. That's why these IV trades are so, they're so weighted by Vega. And so, you watch the Vega in relation to the theta, those values are moving quite a bit as you go, right?
Yeah.
And so, anyway, that's for another day. But
what's the real quick? What's the at the beginning of the trade? What's the Vega starting out on this trade or something? Like when you're starting out.
Let me zoom out here for a minute. So, assuming everything's the same, your Vega at the beginning, the shorts, where it's at, your Vega is going to be a little bit negative at the money, and it's going to go larger outside the scope of it towards those longs. But what's going to happen with it is your Vega actually, as you move it in, as time is passing, theta's passing, your Vega gets more sensitive to that. So I don't have the x-axis selected for the Vega, but I'll show you that another day.
No, I like that because you're starting. That's interesting. You're starting out short Vega at the outset of it because your longs are pretty far out of the money. But as the day progresses, which is what you're showing there, right, is your shorts are going to start really getting sucked out. Yeah. And those longs are going to be like the only guy in the room, right? Mm-hmm. So your Vega is going to go up. So could you real quick go over on this one, August 22nd in the trade log? I just that popped out. Maybe Matt could talk about that or Troy. August 22nd. I think that was just a big, is that the big one? Yeah, 17,000 profit for the profit on that one. What happened that day? Let's see.
Well, you've got 12 of them on because of sizing.
Yeah, and the losses were 18. So I mean, it lost too, but that's like an interesting. Wow, what a weird day.
Yes,
look at that, because what happened was the call side got blown out kind of right away.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, to your point, if you're doing 12, you'd be down $8,000. But an hour later, the other side hit the profit target.
Well, this is actually gets to the Friday problem.
Yeah, this is a Condor.
Oh.
This is a Condor. So really, to run this as just a KIF or a diff, we would need to exclude Fridays, because on Friday you're pulling in listen, maybe we probably need to do a whole bunch of shows on Friday Condors, because there's actually a good amount of Friday vol is a long discussion, I think, in the academic community. Dan, there's a lot of stuff on why vol is the way it is on Friday for Monday. If you take off Friday, it's still positive expectancy. Your capture rate's down to 3.8, just running it Monday and Tuesday. So not a crazy good capture rate, but it does win more than it loses, and your winners have been bigger than your losers. Again, I would maybe bump up the slippage a little bit if you want to. I mean, you can always punish it harder, and you can punish it and see how hard you can add slippage. Now, I will say this, while I'm talking about slippage, let me just say this real quick. We talk about slippage a lot. A lot of people underslip their back test. But here's the thing. 10 cents exit slippage on a trade where the trade is $1.50 is a little bit different than 10-cent exit slippage on the trade when the trade is $29. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I actually like these trades where the trade is $29 on Tuesday, September 2nd, or your credit near, closing in on $30. So you have to keep that in mind too, with the capture rate and the slippage, the relationship between the two. is thinking. Mark Anderson, shout out to Mark Anderson, has talked about this, thinking about slippage as a percentage of the underlying rather than just always a number at different times.
Well, oh, go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
No, I just say, like, again, you do a $4 calendar, giving up a nickel is a much bigger deal than if I'm paying $14 for a calendar, I'll give up 10 cents. But so that's a big thing. And the other thing, real quick, you're right, it's a big discussion. But the whole thing with the market makers and slippage, having been one of those guys, we're just responding to supply and demand. So there's more people trying to get the Theta or whatever they're trying to do on Thursday or Friday. They're selling it. And so we're just letting it drop. We're just lowering. I mean, we're honoring the bid, but we're lowering it. And that's why, what I would do when I was in the pit was, again, we didn't have a world-class back testing. So nice. I get both of those in right away for Tom's purpose. Yeah. But you would just say, okay, usually they would come in Thursdays. It wasn't always Friday, Thursday afternoon, the sellers are coming in. So you're just lowering the volatility of what they're selling. So that's how we do it. Lower the volatility in the machine, in the pit, and the vols would drop as the sellers, and they'd continue Friday. So you're lowering the volatility, and they're coming after more of the, at the monies or whatever options, but shorter term. And the other options aren't being as affected, the ones that are out. And then Friday morning, okay, you come in Friday morning, half hour before the opening, and the market makers and the specialists in the pits are saying, okay, wow, I lowered all these options by, a half a dollar, right? But people are seeing it in their retail brokerage by the volatilities is so low on these. And then Monday morning, I just take off that. I just raise the volatility back up. So that's why you see the phenomena every Monday morning, probably 85% of the time, if you look, vols are up, right? VIX is up. And it's just that, that's what market makers are. They're just responding to the demand and supply. So does it mean you won't get the weekend Theta when you go in and sell Friday? No, you can get some Theta, but it's not as great a do as you think, because the market makers are taking away some of that Theta and they're making you take the 2 days of risk. So it's good. It works. I mean, that's why I've done calendars on Thursdays for years. And a lot of times I'll get it off Friday because you have that. And I know it doesn't back test because you have the back test where Thursday is usually a mover, right? Don't you guys have Thursday?
Thursday, I don't want to say it's usually a mover, but it has the biggest, it seems to have had since dailies, the biggest potential for outsized moves.
Right. So I'm talking Thursday, maybe in the afternoon at 2 Eastern or so later in the afternoon, maybe after the move, put it on. A lot of times by Friday, you're up 6% or whatever because you get that, they crush the, what do you call it? The near-term option.
Yeah.
Anyways, like you said, it's a big discussion, but it's a.
I want to make sure we address this thing because what Matt was saying. These are actually my favorite type of tests, and this is the beauty of backtesting in some ways is you kind of come on happy accidents. You Bob Ross this thing basically, because what this is on Fridays, it's actually not a 1-2. Because what's happening in the test is you don't have a exact DTE set. So for those who are new to backtesting, you can look and say, only trade the days that I have here, right? If not, we're going to try our best. But what's happening in this trade is there is no 1 on a Friday, right?
Right.
It's a 3.
So
what's happening is on the Friday version of this, it's actually a iron fly. It's actually just this selling an iron fly. It's both. You'll look at this on Fridays. Every Friday is the same expiration. It's just that Monday's expiration. But it actually wins, which is interesting. So what do you think about it again? We'll talk about this more tomorrow because this is a happy accident that came from this.
And shout out to Kami too in his class where we talk about this extensively.
Yeah. But Louis Schiff came up with something that's fun, even though it technically isn't a calendarized fly on Friday.
Right.
And so we'll talk about that more, and we'll separate these out more tomorrow and kind of deep dive. But shout out Louis Schiff.
Shout out to you, Louis. And Louis had a
Listen.
great comment too. Let me put this on the screen. Here's an advanced comment. Putting this in a portfolio with other DCs is interesting. It appears to help. Not very correlated to other DCs I trade.
Well, and
shout out to you, Louis.
Yeah, shout out. And it's not correlated, especially on Fridays, because you're selling premium on Fridays.
Yeah.
It's not long. It's not a long. In fact, you can tell. I mean, you're collecting a credit on Fridays.
I'll say this too. I just jacked up the slippage to 25 cents exit slippage on mine, and brought the capture rate down, about 25%, I think. And then I just did one thing to it, and it nearly doubled the capture rate. I just put one entry filter on related to the VIX, just like a big dumb entry filter. So we can talk about that tomorrow as well. I'm going to send this to you.
Matt's usually off on Wednesday, but I might have him. I might have to call up the reserves tomorrow just to talk about that.
Listen,
added filter.
I could probably come in hot at like 9:10.
Come in hot.
Love that. Love that. Well, especially coming in hot, what is the market doing right now?
Nothing. ES is up 0.25, not even 1 point.
Is VIX was up the last time I looked at it. Oh yeah, VIX is definitely going to open up this morning.
0.26 at 15.37. That's not going to get Troy and the Vol team too excited.
No, but we closed lower. I mean, we closed a good bit lower than that last night at 4:15. So
did we? Okay.
Yeah, it closed at like I think it closed around here. Let me look. Yeah, 15:11. So yeah, VIX is going to open up probably. I mean, there's 8 minutes. So if we pump 50 points, maybe not, but otherwise VIX is probably going to open up.
For those
market up, VIX up.
Market up, VIX up is what we like to see.
There you go. Good origami man. Shout out to you. Troy, I'm going to send this to you before I forget. This is Louis Monday, Tuesday only with a twist. Vodka martini with a twist.
We'll show it tomorrow. Listen, guys, so much more to look at. We will try to improve on a great test already tomorrow and the rest of the week. So listen, have a great trading day. I'm going to go get some warm milk and just get under my blanket, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. So have a good trade.